positions, or even maybe actively doing
3 pound
something.
first, then pick up the other one down, and then alternate. This video was recorded on April 1st, Tuesday, 2025. Um, so today I wanted to work on some heavy kettlebell stuff. I actually was talking while doing the exercises, but turns out the microphone hadn't properly paired with the phone, and so I'm going to have to do a voiceover for the first bit of this video. So, like I mentioned earlier, I was uh, doing a heavy kettlebell focused workout, and so in a couple of videos, in the I guess 2 episodes ago, maybe it was three, I'm not so sure. I did this exercise where I did cross body staggered deadlifts with the kettlebell. And so, playing off of that idea, I thought, why not move or do it as I was walking, kind of like walking lunges almost. Or maybe in the kettlebell world, it's more akin to alternate staggered swings, but this time with deadlifts. So I walked forward and then walked backward. Uh, Moving forward and backward, like the stimulus or the way the muscles are recruited are slightly different. So I'm a big believer in doing things both forward and backward when it comes to most movements that require moving forward, like that requires some level of moving. So with lunges, it could be walking lunges forward and then reverse walking or reverse lunges. And with farmer walk, I like to walk both forward and backward. With sled, I like to move the sled both forward and reverse. Another thing that I wanted to work on today was movements that required both the kettlebell and the steel mace or steel club at the same time. The reason for focusing on movements like that is um, when you're holding a kettlebell or a weight, it could have even been a dumbbell in a stationary position. Especially, well, not especially in this in this particular exercise, where I'm holding the kettlebell in shoulder rack. Uh, the weight's going straight down on the shoulder level, so my abs have to be tight on one side, and also uh, the other side has to compensate for the offset load, but at the same time be fluid enough to perform the movement that I'm performing. So I was doing uh, forward and reverse or inside and outside mills, but with the steel mace. So if you're familiar with mills in the Clubbell world, that's pretty much what I'm doing, but with a 7 pound mace. I decided to start off with something that was really light, um, just to, well, the movement, the purpose of this movement is to more so find the flow and not necessarily go too heavy. And if I went too heavy, in my mind, or at least I believe that it would have made me not able to recruit the muscles in a way that I want to, not able to focus on form as much as I would have liked while doing it. Um, the reason I like to do stuff like this is because all muscles in the body are connected, and when one set of muscles are tight or have to support a weight, the way the rest of the body gets recruited changes quite a bit. And it's good to train. And I think in the video right now, I'm actually kind of explaining it, but I'll explain it right now anyway. Um, so when the weight, like when your body is tight on one side, it directly influences other muscles on the other side or just rest of the body in general. For example, um, some power lifters give the cue of or even choose to bite down on something as they lift. The reason being, there is something about the act of clenching your jaw and tightening your jaw muscles that somehow translates to better lifts. And so that's kind of not necessarily exactly what's going on here, but uh, like I guess evidence of the fact that even tightening up your jaw muscles can have downstream effects as far as your strength is concerned or the way your different muscles are recruited. And so, um, when training, I try to think of doing things like anchored movements. An anchored movement would be where you hold a heavy weight in one hand and then do like a shoulder press or a row or something with the other hand. Or maybe you're holding um, a kettlebell in shoulder rack position while doing a single arm deadlift with the other, or it could be holding something overhead while doing curls with the other hand. So you could come up with a bunch of different variations of that kind of stuff. Or it could even be you stay at the bottom of a squat and then do shoulder presses while you're at the bottom of a squat. Because when you're at the bottom, when you're in the squatted position, your muscles are activated. the the lower half muscles are in a stretched position, especially around the hips, and that directly has an effect on how the mechanics of your shoulders and core and stuff uh, is recruited. So it's in my opinion, I like to come up with different variations of that concept and try it out. Some of these movements were things that I've been brainstorming over the past couple of days, uh, inspired by things I've seen online. And yeah, and so for today's workout, I tried to include some concepts like that, um, where I'm doing a combination of uh, like one side doing one thing and one side doing and the other side doing another thing. That's not all what's going on in this workout, but it definitely is something that uh, I wanted to focus on today. Anyway, I'm going to let the audio of the clip play out from here on out, and then from the next exercise onwards, the audio should be fine.
For the rest of the workout, I want to play around with some of these concepts of holding the kettlebell in various positions, or even maybe actively doing something with the kettlebell, but alternating between a kettlebell movement and a steel mace or steel clip movement or something like that. So yeah.
It's pretty chilly. It's like 37 Fahrenheit, which is like 4 or 5 Celsius. There's no wind or breeze or anything, so it's not terrible, but still enough to be just the right amount of uncomfortable. But whatever. So this next movement is called Gladiator deadlifts. It's something that I came across on an Instagram page called Wild Hunt Conditioning. I don't know the guy's actual name. I've done this in the past in a video or two, but I don't remember which number. But so it's this movement where you pick up one kettlebell or one dumbbell and then pick up another one going cross body both ways. And I have my 80-pound kettlebell and 106-pound kettlebell on either side. So this is my third set, and I'm going to record the fourth set as well. I've been alternating which kettlebell I pick up first. So essentially what that means is, I'll just do the movement. So the 80-pound is on my right and the 106 is on my left. So I'm going to pick up the 80-pound first, then pick up the other one down, and then alternate. Again, a lot of core at play here. And again, the act of going crossbody and also having to pick up a weight while holding on to another weight presents its own unique challenges. Going for 5. So one rep is when, I guess, after both ways I count it as one rep. After 5, going to do a farmer carry, forward and backward. And then even it out by facing the opposite way. And walking backward. And forward. Alright. Now for the asynchronous thing, or the mixed stuff. So using a 15-pound club and
a 25-pound kettlebell. I'm going to keep the kettlebell in snatch position and then do alternating inside and outside mills for 5 with my right hand. So looks like this. Again, really recruits the core quite a bit. And a lot of shoulder stability at play. So yeah, quite a long and brutal set of movements, but that's kind of the point of working out, isn't it? So if you all noticed, or as I mentioned earlier, for the first so for the third set, which was the first thing on camera, I picked up the lighter kettlebell first. Now I'm going to pick up the heavier kettlebell first. I'm not exactly sure, except for like experiencing the difference. It's like hard to say exactly like what all are the differences that take place in the body when you pick up the light kettlebell first versus the heavy kettlebell first. But there are differences, and so it's good to train both ways. So yeah, now heavy kettlebell first. Let me get into position. One of the things I'm doing is making sure I stand upright. A part of me just kind of wants to let go before I come up all the way, and I'm probably leaving some contraction and gains on the table if every time I do that. So I'm trying to make a conscious effort to get back and stand straight each time I'm done with a rep.
And now for the farmer's walk. And now the mills. A lot of gripping things going on as well, so forearms are pretty toast. A lot of side to side rotation. Training the muscles around the spine, core, all of that. A lot of rotation in the shoulders as well. Mobility. So yeah, that was set 3 and 4. On to the next thing. But before I do that, so just something to point out about this. Throughout so 106 plus 80, it's like 186 pounds. So, oh yeah, 186 pounds. My body is under 186 pound load for an extended duration. So like usually with gym exercises, you end up like carrying whatever weight it is for like 10 seconds, maybe 20 seconds. I don't know, depends on the number of sets. But when you're going heavy, you usually experience a load for not too long. So maybe a set's usually around 40 seconds top. Then you take a minute and a half rest or something, then another 40 seconds. But when you do stuff like farmer carries and also spread out the movement and the weight among different muscle groups, it's hard to explain, but at least in my opinion, by working out like this, I'm able to have my body experience a load for a longer time. And I think that has a different sort of adaptation effect, like throughout the body, where it has to make a bunch of different muscle groups stronger, if that makes sense. I don't know. I don't know how exactly to put my thoughts in, but I hope that made some sort of sense. So so now moving into something a little bit more directly focused on legs, kind of. It's still a full body movement, but yeah, legs, squats mainly. So using the 106-pound kettlebell, I'm going to clean and do offset loaded squat, drop it, switch sides, and repeat. While cleaning, I'm going to use both hands. I can clean the weight with one hand, but it's not my strongest movement, but it is definitely something that I'll get good at over the summer. But for today, it will have to be a two-handed clean. And I think as my body gets conditioned to being in that offset loaded position, I mostly think there's some sort of weak component within my chain of muscles, to where when I do get it into a single-handed rack position, when I get into a squat, my whole body feels very uncomfortable. And by presenting my body to that stimulus with some level of support using both hands, I will be able to gradually get stronger and then be able to do the movement as I want to, which is with one hand, just clean and squat. So looks like this. It's mostly the right side that doesn't feel that great. Going for 3 on each side. Then, with my 80-pound kettlebell, I'm going to do a tactical clean to push press.
That was a bad rep, but whatever. But yeah, going 3 on each side. And finishing off with alternating single arm 10 to 2s with my 15-pound mace. Adding that Steelmace, adding that Steelmace at the end, it gives a much lighter movement to go from something really tense to something a little bit more light and fluid. And I've always liked that during training. Like even when I train at the gym, I like to follow my heaviest set with something really light. When you do something really heavy, at least for me, I notice that my body wants to tighten up and just kind of feel tense. And in my opinion, it's always good to kind of ease that at the end. Just has the body feeling good after. But yeah, I'm not going to record another set of this. This was my second set. Probably going to do 1 or 2 more. Not sure what I'm going to do next. Might be kettlebell juggling or Steelmace flow or another complex. So before moving into a kettlebell juggling session, decided to do a marathon set of sorts, or a giant set. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I guess a marathon drop set, something like that. With all the maces and clubs. So I'm going to start with the heaviest club. Then so I'm going to be alternating. Well, not alternating. So this one's 45, this one's 35, that one's 25. But then I have a 30-pound mace. So I'm going to do 45, 35, 30, then 25 mace, then 25 club, then 15 mace, then 15 club, and then probably just finish off with the 7-pound mace. In any case, I haven't decided what exact reps I'll be doing with each weight, but I'm going to aim for 5 should be fine, right? Yeah, 5 reps each side with the 45-pound club, but then everything else I'll try to get 10, and I'll be doing shield casts and 360s. Yeah, so let's see how this goes. The workout today wasn't like that cardiovascularly intensive, or at least it wasn't for me, and so I wanted to add something before I do the kettlebell juggling, which is cardiovascularly intensive, that had sort of that component. Alright, let's start.
Actually, I think I have 10 in me. Alright. Was that 9 or 10? Doesn't matter. I'm gonna think it's... I'll just do one more for safety. Okay. Gonna switch sides. It's cold. Alright. Oh, it's cold, it's cold, it's cold. £35 club. Not bad. Alright, 30-pound mace. I actually think the 30-pound mace is going to be the hardest. Just because of the distance. And I don't know. Enough talking. That wasn't bad at all. Alright. 25. Ugh. Hands are so cold. I should have worn gloves, but whatever. Alright, 25-pound club. Man, this feels light. can't feel my fingers. I'm just gonna do single arm with that. Oh. 15-pound club. I'm not gonna use the 7-pound mace, it's not worth it. So yeah, just that. Going to do a mini kettlebell juggling session, but let me put my gloves on. So, going to do some kettlebell juggling and share some thoughts about today's workout and just things in general. Yeah. So today focused a lot on heavy kettlebell stuff, and then some ideas that I had in my head around like combining the kettlebell and the club and the mace. Definitely made for some interesting movements and interesting recruitment of muscles. A lot of core, and yeah, like the cross body walking deadlift was something that I haven't done ever before, and definitely hasn't shown up in a video. Then that marathon set or whatever, big drop set at the end was a lot easier than I thought it would be. It wasn't easy, but it was definitely not as difficult as I thought it would be. And if you saw the videos from last year, I couldn't handle the 45-pound club the way I was. I could only probably get like 5 shield casts in, and now I'm doing 10. So definitely getting a lot stronger, and that's just another thing to keep in mind. A lot of people track their strength exclusively in the form of squat, bench, and deadlift. There are so many other ways to train your body, so many other ways that load can be applied to movement, and by restricting the concept of strength to 3 big power lifts, I think is not a good way to go about determining things. The same way people track like their fitness by BMI, I think BMI is a really bad measure of whether you're the right weight or whatever. Anyway, let's just do some juggling. You know, juggling with the gloves is actually better than juggling, or I could be wrong. I'd have to test it out in the summer as well, but it pads the impact of the handle, and it just feels a lot more comfortable. And I don't necessarily feel any sort of difference in sensation. I still feel pretty connected to the kettlebell. That was good. Yeah, the gloves make a huge difference. So those movements where I do a tap back, so where I flip it, hit it back, those tend to hurt my fingers quite a bit, especially like I'm going fast. But with the gloves, it feels really nice. It's getting dark, so I won't be doing this too much longer. Probably go on a walk after this. Just get some additional movement in. Oh, all right, I'm getting tired. I'm not able to make flips that I usually make. That's all for today's video. Gonna go on a walk. See you all in the next one.